she out of the gate was like, you know, prove yourself to me. Almost like that air of, you owe me an apology still. You know what I mean? And it was like, both of y'all really need to just say sorry and move on, because clearly you did some things that made him look crazy. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl JD here, back with another video. And today, as you can already tell by the title, we are going to be discussing the Love is Blind After the Altar. And I think it was maybe only 3 or 4 episodes. It was not that many at all compared to the actual like Love is Blind season. And obviously, if you guys would like to check out the video that I did about that season, I'll put it in the corner here. I have to be honest, it did get pretty dang interesting pretty fast. And the reunion definitely didn't disappoint, to be very honest with you guys. But After the Altar just kind of made me a little upset in some areas, and I'm going to explain as to why. I'm just going to try my best to go from couple to couple. I'm going to start off obviously with the married couples first. So there were only 2 married couples from the season, and also the season before that and the season before that, which is very ironic, but I don't know if that was planned or what, but that's just what it is. The 2 couples that were married in this season 3, I think they're actually about to do season 4, so keep an eye out for that, I guess. Colleen and Matt. So I did say in the last video that I did of the recap of the full Love is Blind season, I really think that Colleen, she doesn't really have much of a backbone. It seems like she's very emotional, very easy to make cry and, you know, like get upset. And with Matt, I think he just gets angry a lot. And then obviously, like I said, because Colleen kind of gets emotional really easily, she's almost always crying. Like throughout the season, it was just like almost every episode that, you know, outside of the pods that they were together, she was getting emotional about something. And it was like, what is happening? What I don't understand. Like, you know, and then on top of that with Matt, I definitely still think he needs to work on his anger issues, anger management, because he does kind of fly off the handle at like the drop of a dime, you know what I mean? So if you guys obviously watch that before you watch this After the Altar, you'd kind of probably know what I mean, and you'd probably see quite a few examples of that. But I just was not expecting them to say yes to each other and still be married, to be honest with you. I thought they was gonna have some marital issues. It looks as though they don't live together at the moment. Colleen is saying that it's because of the dog that Matt has. She wants him to get the dog neutered or something like that. And I was like, really? You're not moving into his house because of a dog? Like, come on now. Like, just be honest with yourself. It's because you guys want to take things slow, because more than likely you're still trying to get to know each other. Because even though you guys got to talk about really deep or in-depth topics in the pods, I still think you don't really know the person like that compared to if you were in the real world dating and y'all had been together, been able to be with each other for like a couple of years before y'all got married. It would be a very different scenario, very different feeling. You know, that's just how I feel about it. But I personally feel as though they just need that time to just breathe, because the whole process was just a little too short. So I was like, Colleen, just be honest with us. It's just because you guys want to kind of take things a little slow. It's not because of a dog. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? The second married couple is Brennan and Alexa. So in my past video, I did make mention of the fact that Alexa has a very strong personality, and I think with Brennan, because he's a little more docile, kind of more on the soft-spoken side, to be honest with y'all, I think Alexa tends to kind of bulldoze over him a lot, and I don't know if she notices that or Brennan even bothers to tell her, because he probably is just so used to getting bulldozed. But I think when they were actually opening up the After the Altar episodes, it opened up with Alexa's family coming over to, I think, her and Brennan's house, or maybe just Alexa's house. I don't know. But either way, they were at this house and they were celebrating a Jewish holiday that I just can't remember the name of at the moment. And it looks as though Brennan's family was also there. And at the dinner table, Alexa's dad was actually the one that, you know, started talking to Brennan about the fact that it kind of feels unequal in their relationship, as though Alexa is kind of the lead almost, you know? And I have to agree. I feel like like, I'm definitely more on the traditional side. I prefer my man to definitely be the head of household. And when it comes to me giving my feedback about certain things, decisions for like the family and the house and all that, I still would, you know, give my opinions about things, and I'd want him to hear me and consider them. But at the end of the day, I'd still kind of prefer that he makes like the final decisions on things. But I don't get that vibe that Brennan is going to be able to do that. And it looks as though Alexa is okay with doing that herself. So I think ultimately the relationship works because of that, but I think it can also lead to the downfall of it because of that. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of frustrating. I'm gonna turn on the light real quick because it's kind of dark in here. So like I was saying, I just ultimately feel as though with Brennan, he's kind of weak to me. And I even said that. It's like he just comes across as a little too docile. I'm definitely not the type to find that attractive in a guy. I need someone that's going to take control, you know what I mean? So that's just how I feel about it. But throughout the season, it looks as though obviously Alexa was planning for her birthday party, because, you know, the show needs a premise to bring everybody together, because it's supposed to be kind of like a reunion part 2, really. So Alexa's birthday party is kind of the way to bring all the couples together, for them to see each other for the first time in a while, and yada yada, right? And then when Alexa meets up with the girls, you know, they chit chat about marriage, relationships, and it seems like Alexa's marriage to Brennan is going decently. However, yeah, like I said, I do think it's going to be a little problematic when you as the man, you don't step up, in my opinion, you know? Like, yeah, it's a little frustrating to me because that's just kind of what I envision, but do what you want to do, whatever works for you, you know? But when it comes to the birthday party, what gets on my nerves is when Brennan, instead of talking to, I think it was Cole, because in the reunion, I believe Brennan was trying to talk to Cole, but it came across as very, this is what you're supposed to do, like in a very scolding tone, kind of like you're talking to a child, you know, when it came to Zainab. And it was just kind of like, I don't understand why y'all butting in. Like, it's between Zainab and Cole. Like, let them work out their thing. I understand that Alexa is friends with Zainab, and now obviously Brennan feels like he should butt in a little bit, but it just comes across as very soft, like very feminine to me, and that just kind of made me mad. It's like, if you're gonna come up to Cole, talk to him like a man, you know what I mean? It just came across as you just trying to argue with him from like a woman's perspective, you know what I mean? It just did not come across like he was trying to understand Cole at all. He was just kind of pointing the finger like, it's all your fault, you know, that your relationship with Zainab failed. And yeah, but I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but like I said at the beginning, there were some parts in this that got me kind of angry, but we're gonna move on. So those are the only 2 couples that are married, still married, it looks like, and you know, I wish them both the best, but I do think Brennan and Alexa's relationship, it might be in trouble a couple years down the line, but you never know. So we're gonna move on to SK and Raven. So there's some things that need to be said, obviously, but I'm gonna save it until the end. And it's not good, okay? I'm just gonna let you guys know that, but it came out after the altar episodes came out. So nonetheless, SK and Raven, during the reunion, they revealed that even though SK had said no to Raven at the altar, they still decided to still date each other, even though he was at school in LA and she was staying in Dallas. So they made that work. And then in the after the altar episodes, you see that they actually got a place together. SK was enjoying the fact that she was trying to make the house a home, and it looks as though Raven was still thriving and doing whatever she was doing with like her Pilates business, and I think it was looking okay. You know, from the outside looking in, it was looking like they were doing well, like they were enjoying each other. Happiness, you know, it just seemed very like they were happy with each other. But then we get through the next couple of episodes and we hear SK, he's talking to, I think it was one of his friends or family members, and he was basically saying how he wanted to re-propose to Raven for them to tie the knot, and he started looking for rings. He proposed and it was this whole big ordeal, and that's kind of where it cut. And then we end up finding out some things about SK, but I'm gonna save that until I'm done with all the other couples. So let's move on to Bartise and Nancy. So I did make mention of the fact that at the end of the Love is Blind season, okay, Bartise did say to Nancy no at the altar. He does not, even after Nancy had said yes. So she kind of walks away, and the family, Nancy's family, her mom especially, did not take that well. She was going to come after Bartise with everything, okay? But eventually they walk away from each other. They work out that they're not even going to even bother dating each other. It's good. It's done. I'm done with you, right? So they walk away. However, during the reunion, it comes out that Bartise had kind of started dating more women after that whole Love is Blind thing got done filming. And I guess Nancy was still kind of upset about that, but it's like, y'all aren't together. Why are you mad about how quickly he moves on, you know? I'm just saying, it's just kind of like, girl, either you over this dude or you not, you know? And to be honest, there was red flags with Bartise throughout the entire season. There was so many times that this man showed her his true colors. The fact that he was a man thought, let's be honest. And now I'm watching actually a show on Netflix as well called The Perfect Match from the same people, okay? Nick Lachey. I haven't seen his wife on that one though. I think it's just Nick on that one. But either way, it's actually people from different Netflix reality shows that we've seen, like The Circle, Love is Blind, of course. So Bartise is actually one of those people on Perfect Match. And I'm gonna be talking about that soon. I'm trying to binge watch that now. But that's definitely those types of shows where it's like, because there's so many people getting moved around, leaving the house, coming back, is a lot that you have to remember. So I would try my best to definitely get that video done as soon as I finish watching that season. So yeah, but anyways, Bartise is kind of showing his behind in this Perfect Match show, and he's still up to his same ways, still doing the same thing, bouncing from woman to woman, claiming he has connections that he doesn't. And he did the same thing to Nancy in Love is Blind. So I just find it crazy that even after all of that, we see in the After the Altar episodes that Nancy comes out and says that, oh, me and Bartise are still friends. We're still trying to maintain a friendship. A friendship? Really? Really, ma'am? Ma'am. I was just like, come on, you already know this man's intentions. Why are you still connected to him in any shape or form? Let it go. Cut it off. Please cut it off. So thankfully, when we get to Alexa's party, they get to meet each other. Bartise, Nancy, they sit down, and Bartise just like, so are we still friends? Are we still good? And Nancy's just looking at him like, listen, I talked to both the girls on the show and also my family and my friends, and they're all saying, I just need to cut you off. Like cold turkey, just need to cut it out, right? And Bartise is just like, okay. It sounds like he still kind of had like a situationship that he was probably planning on, you know, with her. But I really don't think with Bartise is anything deep. I'm just gonna be honest. And just watching him on this Perfect Match show kind of proves that to me. He doesn't really seem authentic to me. He just seems like a here and now type of person. And then also the fact that he's in his 20s. I think me and him are like the same age. He might be 26, 27. It's like he's super young, and I just don't think his head is in that arena of marriage at all right now. He just needs to go through his man 304 phase right now, and then maybe we could revisit this marriage topic. But as of right now, let him go. Nancy definitely made the right decision with cutting that friendship off, because it was just gonna be pointless. It wasn't gonna serve her, and it was just probably gonna make her never actually heal from that Love is Blind process. I'm just gonna be honest. So let's move on to the one couple that really upset me more than the rest. Even though, like I said, with SK and Raven, there was some things that came out and it made me disappointed in somebody. Okay, I'm not gonna say until the end. But either way, Zanab and Cole. Zanab and Cole. Oh my God. I think it was part 2 when I did just the reunion. That video, y'all. I'ma link it. I'ma link it right here. I was so irritated with everybody on this show because of how they dealt with Cole in connection to this relationship with Zanab. Because everybody came to Zanab's defense because they were pretty much treating her like the victim. But we clearly see the footage of the cuties issue. Clearly, because she brought up at the wedding, okay? At the wedding, she embarrassed this man. She said no good positive things about this dude, okay? Nothing. Nothing. What drives me even crazier is the fact that Cole approaches her to talk about the whole situation because they hadn't spoken to each other at all since that reunion. So when they finally get to talk, first thing Zenab says is, well, you didn't hear the positive things that I said about you before I went into the negative? Verbatim, all this woman said is, you taught me a lot about myself and I learned a lot about you in the process. That's all she said. That's not a, that's an obvious, that is an obvious fact. That's not an actual like opinion or a feeling that you had about the person. It's not a characteristic. It's nothing good. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just a fact that y'all got to know each other. So it was like, what are you talking about, Zenab? Oh my God. So before Zenab and Cole actually get to meet up with each other at the party, what gets me is that leading up to it, everybody she spoke to was treating her again, still like the victim. And I'm just like, are we gonna pretend like she didn't bull-facedly lie about this man and what he did to her? Like, really? Obviously, we didn't get to see everything, but we just caught her in the biggest bull-faced lie. Talking about, oh, you told me I had to starve until dinner. What? Y'all, I was just so irritated, so irritated. I'm like, you just lied on this man on television and people are still treating you and handling you with kid gloves. It's wild to me. It's really wild. And if I wanted to just shake my laptop that I was watching it on, I was like, ugh! I was getting so angry. If I was Cole, I'd be honestly mad as hell. Honestly, because you tried to make me look bad. Anyways, y'all, I'm just gonna continue, but that part really aggravated me. I was like, are we just gonna ignore what she did? What she lied about? Like, really? Anyways, so still, everybody's still treating her like she's the victim. She suffered through all of this and yada yada. And then, you know, like I said, Brennan was trying to talk to Cole and he's just like, I just didn't appreciate how you talked to Zenab and how you treated Zenab on the show and how you was cheating on her with a bunch of other girls. And that's when Cole was like, wait, what? Like, what girl? Who was I seeing? What are you talking about? It just seems to me, even though obviously there's a possibility, like I said, that we didn't see everything and that he could have been very well cheating with a bunch of girls. Don't get me wrong. However, it's like, how can I believe? Because more than likely that came from Zenab. More than likely. So because that is the possibility that that's the root of where that information came from, it's like, how can you take anything this girl says as truth? Like 100% truth. You just saw her get caught up in the lie. Like, what? Even the Netflix producer, they showed the footage. When it came to Cole and that situation with Brennan, he was like, you know what? I'm done with this conversation. I'm just gonna walk away and politely leave you standing here with your drink in hand, okay? And he just walked away, and that's when he went over to Zenab and was like, hey, can I talk to you? Because Zenab, the entire time leading up to this birthday party, she was like, yeah, I'm in a good place, I'm healing, and I'm not gonna let him take me back to that place. It was a dark place, and you know, he's gonna have to be the one to come up to me. I'm not initiating any conversation. And it was like, girl, what makes you so special? Like, it just aggravated me how she was acting. Like, she still carried herself like she's the victim 100%. It was all Cole's fault. I had nothing to do with it. It's like, really, are we going to do this? You know, but thankfully Cole was just like, you know what? I'm going to put my pride aside and we're going to talk. Okay, so thankfully he was going to be the bigger person that night because it sure wasn't going to be Zenab. Okay, so they sat down, they started talking about that situation. Like I said, she out of the gate was like, you know, prove yourself to me, almost like that air of you owe me an apology still, you know what I mean? And it was like, both of y'all really need to just say sorry and move on, because clearly you did some things that made him look crazy. You did some very suspect stuff. So with Zenab, I think with her, I don't think she's ever going to really find anyone and be okay and actually secure in a relationship until she actually deals like I said, actually deals with her problems, because throughout that season of Love is Blind, you could tell she was not secure in herself. Every other moment she was comparing herself to the other girls, and you know, every little thing she would just nitpick at when Cole would say certain things. And they'd be like, girl, are you not confident in yourself at all? Like, Jesus. I think she just has so many things that she needs to work on within herself before she even considers getting back into the dating market. I think, honestly, Zainab is crazy. I don't use that word lightly. She's crazy. Those types of women, I would definitely say, men, please avoid at all costs. As soon as you see women start to compare themselves, you know, to women and then ask you to rate her and what she think of this and this, like, no, let it go. It is not worth it. She's not secure in herself or her womanhood. Let her go. Let her figure her ish out. That ain't got nothing to do with you. So don't entangle yourself in it, like Jada said, okay? No entanglements. Yeah. All that being said, right? That was the part that really irritated me, is that everyone was still coming after Cole again. Like, the reunion wasn't enough. They still came again at the after the altar episodes for Cole. I was like, what did this man do? Like, I'm still honestly very much so confused. Did we not see what happened at the end of the season? Like, anyways, y'all, but like I said at the beginning, SK and Raven, they seem to be good. They ended off with a bang. SK had proposed to Raven. She accepted. It was a nice little shindig. You could tell he put thought into it. And I was excited, you know? And then the news broke. The news broke, y'all, that SK was actually cheating on Raven almost the entire time. Yeah, I actually watched a full-blown interview about it, because she didn't really go into depth about like what all had actually transpired and what really officially made her walk away from the relationship with SK. When we watched the After the Altar episodes, she just kind of vaguely said he cheated, yada yada, these are my feelings. But we actually get to see an interview that she did. I forgot which podcast or platform, but I'll link it in the description. But I watched the full-blown interview and I felt so bad for that girl. I felt so bad. It's one thing when it's one person. Yeah, y'all, it was multiple women. Multiple women had came out with receipts, honey. Receipts. And we actually find out that this man was lying to her, talking about he was at school in LA, but the entire time he was actually going on trips with these women. I'm like, wow. It's one thing when you sleep with them and like they just a one-night stand type of situation, but when you going on trips with people, buying them gifts, taking them places, like that's a full-blown relationship, honey. Like, that's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I just find it crazy. I'm wondering if he just did all of that just for the show. It just struck me as crazy because SK did not seem like that type of person at all. Like, that definitely was weird to me. I was like, where did that come from? Even when you think you kind of see any possible or potential red flags in advance, like you kind of get a good gist or feel about a person, and you don't really see many red flags or anything that out of the ordinary, and then out of nowhere something like this happens, it's like it turns everything on its head. Obviously, I feel like if she had like a male figure, like a father or brother, anything like that, I think they probably could have seen through the BS. Potentially. I think men are a lot more adept at seeing through BS with other men than women are. I think that they tend to be able to read men a lot quicker. And I think, yeah, in this case, she definitely needed someone besides just like her girlfriends, it looks like, because I haven't seen her family. I don't know much about her family history. Where's her mom, her dad? Like, I don't know anything about that. She said, I don't even remember her saying anything about it during the show. Y'all let me know if she did, but I don't remember anything at all. I just remember SK's family coming to visit her at the apartment one time to cook and stuff. But besides that, I didn't see anything revolving around her family at all. Like SK meeting them, nobody. He just met her friends and that was it. So yeah, I think with her case, wow, that really blindsided me. So I know for sure she was blindsided, because how do you go through all of that, you know, that whole process with somebody, decline them at the altar, they continue dating you, and then you decide to propose to them, and now this is like, what is going on? You know, it's wild. That's all I have to say on this one. There was a lot of things like just kind of angered me, honestly, with just Cole and Zainab. I was like, oh my God, I just can't. I think they're actually supposed to do like a 2-year for season 2 or something like that, like after 2 years. Oh, also Shane from season 2, speaking of, is actually on Perfect Match as well. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, that video. So look forward to it. But this is going to be a wrap on Love is Blind season 3 for now, until maybe they decide to do another portion, like maybe after a couple of years they come back, do something, I don't know. But the After the Altar is it was pretty short, so there wasn't really much to talk about. But y'all can let me know your thoughts on it. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.